giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Texas Family Fitness, Freeman Mazda Hyundai, and Worth the Poor. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Y'all see it. We live. We're here at Worth the Poor Spirits and Wine in the colony of Texas, and it's a mailbag Thursday. Usually we do these on Friday, but today we're going to do it in honor of Worth the Poor being here live. And they have a special event that they're going to be at later today, and I'll detail that in a little bit. But appreciate you guys for joining me this morning. I'm excited to get the show started. I'm excited to be here at this great store at Worth the Poor. I really urge you guys to come on down, man. Hey, if you want, you can call in. 351-999-3787 is a call-in line. 351-999-3787. I'll try not to keep you long today. I promise you I will stay true to my word. I'm going to hit the roundup, get into the chat. We'll get the phone lines popping, and we'll get to the mailbag as well, where I think a lot of you guys had questions about the offensive line. So I say, hey, talk about the O-line a little bit. We'll take a break from rating of the draft. Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow or next week. But I wanted to dive in a little bit to the offensive line because it is fascinating where we stand and what Stephen Jones had to say about our guy Tyler Smith. So with that said, let's get some shout-outs in order. Appreciate you, TC915 in the building. Said lies. I promise y'all it ain't going to be long. Unless y'all make it long, it ain't going to be long today. Toxic Tom in the building. My guy set it off. Chris C. Burleson, Trey Manning, what's good, brother? Gregory, Miss Sheila, Stephen White in the building. Tony Simmons, Samuel Rowe, Calvin Jefferson, Charlie, Big H. 6081 boy. That's a different one. I don't recall seeing that up in here, but shout out to you. Iceberg Q, Perry Locke, or is it Locke? Perry Locke, my bad, brother. Mackenzie, two times in the building. B47. Vic, Grant, Rain, H2O, Materius Adams. Or is it Demetrius Adams? You sound like a football player, bro. Primetime Phil, Nisi, and the many more coming through over here on Facebook. Shout out to CJ Richards in the building, John Garcia, and Chuck P. Make sure y'all run this back. What's up, Flo, J.A., all y'all. I appreciate y'all in the building. Y'all do a tremendous job being involved. Now, where did my – you know what? I don't need that anymore. Got this one. We good, right? We good. Tony Simmons says, McGovern for president, for center. Where's my button at? Make sure we still got our buttons while we here live at Worth the Poor. Yeah, we'll talk about it, man. When I put out the mailbag yesterday, I didn't know what to expect. It was the very first mailbag post-draft, and I got a lot of offensive line questions, and I haven't really dove into the exact formation of the roster just yet because I'm still trying to get through all the players and be able to report back to y'all with what I've seen in an educated way. But the offensive line depth is an issue. How much? Can it be corrected? That's what we'll talk about. But before we get into all that, let's hit the roundup. There's a little bit of there is Cowboys news. There's absolutely Cowboys news. One of the popular down roster players are no longer with the team. So we'll get into that right now.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. More than just a fitness club, They provide the tools, support, and resources you need to achieve your goals. Remember, strive for progress, not perfection. Fitness goals are not accomplished with one workout. Progress towards those goals with Texas Family Fitness. They have 13 different locations in the DFW area. Check all of them out if you can. But find one around where you're at. Go sign up and let them know that Skywalker and A to Z sent you on over. All right. First up on the docket, I thought this was interesting because the Cowboys are worldwide. No longer are they just Cowboys Nation, right? We're global. But the NFL didn't elect to use the Cowboys in any of their international games. Hey, as a fan and as a content creator, I'm cool with that. That means we get all the Cowboys home games in Dallas, and I love that. And we get to see Jacksonville, Dallas in Jacksonville this year and not in London. But they've got, I think now, 3 different countries: London, Germany, and Mexico City. London, Germany, and Mexico City. NFL is continuing to expand its popularity across the world, and I'm very interested to see how it's recepted in Germany. I know in Mexico it's big time. I'm gonna talk to Mo about that. It's big time down there. We know in London it's grown in its popularity, but Germany is interesting. So we'll see how that goes in Germany. But no Cowboys international games, and for me, I'm good with that. Y'all good with that? I'm good with that. Now here's the Cowboys news. Y'all know me. I'm bad with names, but Sewu Olaniwu. Just Sewu. We just gonna go with Sewu. Sewu was cut yesterday, and if you guys don't remember who he is, he's the fullback / running back. I believe he was on the team prior. Showed some promise, actually. Pretty damn fast for a fullback. Physical guy. He was part-time running back, I believe, at TCU as well. But in the same frame that he played well in the Hall of Fame game, he got hurt. He injured his neck, and it may be, I don't know if this is a career injury or not, but he injured his neck, and his season was cut short, put on IR. And this is how I knew this could be coming down the pipe. They signed Ryan Nall from the Bears, right? And that made me think, well, you're not just going to go sign a ton of fullback competition, right? Like, it's a 90-man roster. It's a 90-man roster. You can't afford 4 fullbacks on a roster. So maybe he comes back. Maybe they cut somebody else and you get him back on the team. We will see. But hey, Ralston, that's the other one, Joey. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you have Ralston, who I don't know if he's still. They may have given him a futures contract, something to look up. Sewu and then Ryan Nall. You weren't keeping 3 fullbacks on the team, right? And then Ryan Nall sounded out, Sky. Ain't no way. Ryan Nall might have been your best free agent pickup, am I right? No, seriously, man. I hope he is okay. I hope his neck is fine, but I don't think that he'll be sticking around in Dallas unless Nall just completely sucks and they cut a couple other people. Ralston, and get rid of him, and they bring him back and they heat up the competition. What's the fullback, says Sam, right? And then finally, Stephen Jones. We touched on this very briefly yesterday because I misspoke Monday when I said I didn't really hear them talk about moving Tyler Smith to tackle full time. I didn't really hear a bunch of that. I heard he'll work the left side and see what's up. No. This sounds like that's what they want to do. Here's Stephen Jones' quote on his position change in the future. I just think his upside is tremendous. He's played at a smaller school there at Tulsa, so he only played about 18 games. But we just feel like his skill set really lends to him having an opportunity to be a top left tackle at some point. Obviously, we just got one of the best in the business for him to learn. Not just got, but we got one of the best in the business for him to learn from in Tyron Smith. Certainly, Tyler Smith will get an opportunity to hit the field at some other spots as well. He'll compete on the left side, left guard, and left tackle. End quote from Stephen Jones. Briefly touched on this yesterday. I'm Not a fan. I'm not a fan of this. But we're getting too cute. You know, I said something about being cute at the wide receiver position with all these interchangeable parts. I personally think you should probably just, be more defined in what you want these guys to do. But I feel that way about offensive line. I get that Tyler Smith has a potential out there, but focus on one thing. Baby steps, right? He's going to be your left guard. And we'll get into what I think is the offensive line depth chart as we speak right now. Now, y'all might disagree on one part because of it's May. Technically, that could change after 2 weeks of training camp. But I don't agree with making Tyler Smith practice as a left tackle, then practice as a left guard, and flip-flop, snip, snap. He's a young rookie. He's a raw rookie, right? He needs all the work he can possibly get. And we've talked about this over this last week because of Duke, who has an announcement to make, by the way. It's not what you think, but he has an announcement to make. We talked about this with Duke. Most offensive linemen are refining their skills and their technique outside of the facility because these coaches really just don't have enough time and maybe not be skilled enough. We talked about Joe Philbin. We'll get to that in the mailbag. To completely develop some of these guys that are extremely raw. Right? Like, if I'm going to be fair and play devil's advocate to Joe doesn't have time to focus on one guy all practice or an hour of practice, maybe not even 30 minutes of practice, because they have to prepare for the rest of the game. They have to prepare for the rest of the team, the drills, et cetera, et cetera. It's more than just one guy. Whereas, specialists, consultants, the Dukes of the world, they could spend hours on hours with these dudes and making them better. What is it that you disagree with, Cass? Let me know, man. Call in. So I think they need to focus on one spot for Tyler Smith and not throw a bunch on his plate right now because he is your guard. If you want him to be a tackle, then put him at right tackle, right? But still at swing. Keep Conor McGovern in there if you want. Let him work at tackle. For a dude who is not technically sound, for a guy who is extremely raw, I think throwing different things at him right now is not helpful. I think it could potentially hurt him, actually. And what I don't like is the fact that it sounds like what Steven said in that same presser. It sounds like if Tyron Smith was to get hurt, they're going to move Tyler Smith to left tackle. I don't like it. How can I say it's not good to practice if you have the ability to do so? I think you're misremembering. You're mishearing. What the heck are you talking about? Who said it's not good to practice? You need to practice. Development doesn't stop when you get drafted. I agree. It doesn't stop. I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's why I say call in, because y'all just be saying stuff in these chats, man. Call in. Absolutely, you can call in. 351-999-3787. In fact, we got James from Cali on the horn. Let's get to James from Cali. What's good, man? Turn down your house.
I played offensive line before, and I think what people need to realize is you need to put somebody in a position. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just got mad loud because of something. I'm turning myself down. You go ahead. Okay, you do you, brother. You do you.
Yeah. So I think what you need to do is when you put him in at one position at a time, and you let him learn it.
Right.
Because if you try to give somebody too much, it just becomes you're just putting in too much information, and you can have like an overload, and then it's worse than what it was. So put him in there at guard, and if they're going to do what you were saying, I hope to God Tyron stays healthy, because if you look at how he played tackle, if you put him like that with some of these, defensive ends out there right now in the NFL, he's going to definitely acquire some holding.
Oh, my goodness. If
I'm not ready to do that.
You throw Tyler Smith out there right now.
I'm just ready to put him in at guard and leave him there. So what I see is Tyler Smith at guard, Tyron at left tackle. Our center is an issue. We need to address that. That's my biggest issue. And then, of course, you got, Zach Martin and Terence Gill. I like that, but I just think they see something apparently that we don't. I don't know what they see, but to me, he's just not, how do you say, technically sound enough to be a tackle in my book.
Well, James, if I had to say
You know?
what they see from him, I'd say it's potential because he has the athletic ability and the want to, right, the determination
Right.
to be better, and he has gotten better as a player, as a young offensive lineman. So I mean, they see potential, but potential means future. We're talking about if Tyron
Right.
gets hurt now, y'all feel comfortable, Cowboys Nation, throwing Tyler out there now. He can go out there and be a beast. But I'm just talking about what I've seen from Tulsa and what he is and what he said he has to correct. That's a rough move for me, man.
Against the level of competition he had to go against, I'm going to tell you, based on what I've seen, the film that I have watched, and what you and Botch have put out. And by the way, I like you guys, you and Botch, taking it down at the same time. That's cool. I like that, man.
Thank you, brother.
But yeah, I just think that I see him as a guard. Other people might not agree with me. I don't know if I see a tackle for him, because I think he's got the strength to be a guard and handle that position. But even if he was to learn, I just don't know fundamentally if he's gonna have what it takes to be a tackle. I just don't think he's shifty enough in the feet. He's big and strong, where you want your guard to be. But as far as taking on them defensive ends, I just don't know if we're going to get there. I mean, we could try and see, but I don't know, man. That scares me a little bit. Before I go, what do you think the offensive line is going to roll out at? Do you agree that center's still an issue?
Well, stay tuned. I'm going right to that one right now, James.
Okay.
I got you, brother.
Well, anyway, man, love your show, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the call.
All right, my man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Focus on the one spot. All right, so we got a couple more callers on the horn. Well, we got, I think, Jose on the horn. Just stay tight, brother. We're going to get to you in a second. What I'm going to do here is we're going to talk about this week's Ride of the Week. Then I'm going to get to the first question, which is basically about the offensive line depth, and we're going to have this conversation because there is something there, man. But this week's Ride of the Week is a 2022 Hyundai Palisade, if I'm even saying that one right. With the high-class cabin, a smooth ride, and space for the whole family, it's easy to see why the Palisade has been a hit for Hyundai. The brand's largest SUV runs the gamut when its value, from its value-oriented base trim to its highest model out there. Got the third row seating for the big families and the pets and whatnot. They got the towing capable with the trailer sway control. Obviously, all these cars have the new Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and then the blind spot collision avoidance and the backup and rear parking sensors for those who can't park. I don't really need them, but they're helpful. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, that's this week's Ride of the Week. Check out FreemanHyundai.com for more information.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
I think this is a fascinating conversation that we're having here in this chat. Fascinating. And maybe it's a conversation that we're going to have all the way until we get to rookie minicamp, training camp, what have you. C says, so the position that he played in college, he can't work on and get better in the NFL. And see, that's what's funny about, I forget what the word is I'm looking for here. But no, that's not what I'm saying. I don't believe that's what a lot of people are saying here. Sure, he can work on it. But let me ask you, C, wouldn't you want him to just work on that as opposed to trying to work on multiple things at once for a guy who is not technically sound? It'd be different, right, if he came in and you weren't worried about him from a technical standpoint. For instance, had the Cowboys drafted Evan Neal, Ike Ikwamu, right? Guys that, and he even needs some work, but not as much work. Guys that you feel a little bit better about putting at left tackle, but you know I don't need to do that right now. I'm going to put him at guard. I think I would feel a little bit different. I would. because I can put them at left tackle when I feel good, because that's what they're going to be, right? Whereas is Tyler, I mean, maybe you've seen something different on film than I have, but I just don't see him being a left tackle right now in this league. So, yeah, continue to work on it, but, when it's time to. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to. All right, let's get to the first question here from the mailbag, because it involves the offensive line depth. I can't pronounce your name, sir, on Instagram, but I appreciate you. We just going to call you Smur. Smur on Instagram says, with the changes made over the offseason, will the O-line be better or worse? I've have to admit, isn't it worse? Now, it may be better at a spot. Like, some people may believe that Tyler Smith is better than Connor Williams. Some people may believe Terence Steele is better than Lyle Collins. But as a whole, you've lost, at the very least, depth. And here's how I look at it. Here's how I look at it right now. Current offensive line depth. I am putting Tyler Smith above Connor, because if he's not your guard, then what the hell are we doing here? But maybe Connor for the first couple days, maybe the first week, he's your left guard. But I got Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotish, Zach Martin, and Terence Steele. Now, the Tyler Biotish situation could get funny, because you could see Matt Forniak, who I have as the backup right now, and Alec Lindstrom compete for that position. But right now, I think it's Biotish's to lose. And then this is where it gets icky. Josh Ball, Conor McGovern as your swing guard, Forniak, and Waletzko. If we're being completely honest, the only backup on this list that I would say I have confidence in as a backup right now, without getting too biased because I'm a Cowboy fan, because we haven't seen these dudes, is Conor McGovern. And I love Matt Forniak from the few possessions I saw him play at center against the Eagles. But I've also got to be real and take that with a grain of salt, right? Just got to be a little bit real. Y'all know how we do here. Context matters. Diehard fan I am, but I also got to be real. I look at the backup depth this year compared to what we had last year, and I have to say, I don't believe it's better, Cowboys Nation. So I ask y'all, do you guys believe the Cowboys' offensive line depth as a whole is better or worse than last year? Better or worse than last year? Mark says the starting five is better. I could kind of get behind that a little bit, Mark. Because I'm high on Terence. I think Terence, he showed that he could be a very, very solid right tackle. So I'm confident in Terence holding it down. Obviously, Zach is Zach. Biotish should be better, right, going into year 3. So that's what we're kind of counting on. I think Tyler Smith is going to be an upgrade at guard. Tyron's the wild card. How many games will I get out of Tyron? So, while yes, if you be like, yo, Autumn going to play 17 games, I could see it being better. But with Tyron not playing 17 games, now instead of Terence being your swing tackle, as well as who's the one we brought in, guys, from Buffalo, used to play in Nsekhe. And Ty Nsekhe, who was a proven swing, we're going with a lot of unknowns. Toxic, a lot of unknowns. Better hope health is on our side. All right, let's see. Better or worse? Toxic, worse. Mark, worse. Matt, worse. We need to see first. Yes, this is true, but we're just right now in May. And by the way, let me just say this, because a lot of fans, at least I see on Twitter, and it ain't just me. I see a lot of fans get on content creators because their opinions may have changed, or they've seen something from a player afterwards. That's normal, right? Right? You're going to see more of people. That's why I always say, right now, in May, or whatever date it is, in April, in February, whatever, right now, this, and this, because that can change, and it should. If you get more data, a smart person will change their mind if the data is enough to do so. It's the stubborn people who want to be right and wrong that will be 10 toes down no matter if the correct information is staring at you in the face. So you're right, C-Nix. We do need to see. So I'm only talking about at this second, guys. At this second, I can't really see this being better than last year. Toxic says, but it could be better. Okay. B47 Vic says, better if Tyron stays healthy and Tyler Smith comes in and does better than Conor. Well, you're talking about the starting, but what about the actual overall depth? Equal. Still played majority of snaps last year. Smith is an upgrade. So about the same. To be decided, yeah. Better, says C. Interesting. Still was terrible at tackle. He wasn't terrible, man. Very worse. Yeah, you know, it's funny because when you look at this graphic, doesn't it make you kind of go, oh, wait a minute. This is this is the depth. When you're talking it out, when you're going through the off season, you're not really thinking too much, but when you see it, you know, I would really like to have a swing tackle, right? A veteran swing tackle might make me feel a little bit better. Hell, go get me, you know, a veteran guard to make competition even that much more. There's never wrong with having more competition on the offensive line. May the best man win. But I would say I would go with worse because think about this. Last year, Ty Nsekhe and Terence Gill were your swing tackles. That is solid. Now, going into the year, we were not too sure. But that was solid. McGovern was your swing left guard, which as a swing left guard or guard, I'm cool with that. Where they were bad and they may be better at, depending on what Forniak does, is center. Can y'all tell me who the hell the backup center was? I know it was McGovern, but who really was the backup center? So a lot to see, man. A lot to see. All right, let's get into the phone lines. I know Jose been waiting and he had something to say about this. What's up, man? What's going on, man? You live?
Oh, no, no. What's up, brother? Appreciate it. First time getting on. You always talking before.
It's really hard to hear you. So what I'm gonna do is ask your question or get to your point, and then we'll answer it off air or off the phone.
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me, sir? Check. Can you hear me, man?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
All right, brother. I know what I was wanting to say. Yeah, good morning, Cowboys Nation. And pretty much, you know, as what I was hearing, they that and try to put him out there as much as possible. We want him, you know, his goal to be the actual tackle for the future, you know, because you never know how and they said the way, you know, they of course we got to be, you know, show them the techniques and everything like that, because we don't want any more penalties as a Cowboys team, even though we're the number one.
Clean my glasses so I can hear better real quick.
Huh?
I'm cleaning my glasses so I can hear you better.
Okay. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, that I heard that was one thing. But yeah, no, that was they're gonna give him a good option. Try to get him as up to speed as much as possible. But yeah, man, either or. If not, you start him at guard, let him get that action there and on the O line, and then from there switch him out. You know, just so we can get there for the future.
Yeah. So you're saying start him at guard and move him out to left tackle in the future. I agree with that. I'm down for that, man. Appreciate it, yeah, Jose. Man.
No, yeah, absolutely, brother.
Thanks, man. Have a good day, bro.
Getting me as caller. You too, brother.
You know, that just kind of reminded me. I used to work in a codes department before I did all this. And Mary, shout out to Mary. She ain't listening, but I love Mary. Older lady, co-worker. And I forget what the hell was happening. She was so damn nosy. She'll tell you. I loved it. Somebody was talking over there, and she took her glasses off and said, I gotta clean my glasses so I can hear better. I said, Mary, what you talking about? But think about it for a second. When you parallel parking, if you grooving, don't you turn down that music to make sure you get in that spot right? Huh? Don't you kind of turn off one sense to make sure the other sense gets a little better? I tend to do that with y'all. When I can't hear him squinting, I'm like, come on, get through. So yeah, I thought that was funny. But yeah, I'm with you, Jose, man. Start on my guard, move him in. Let's get to Danny, and I got my man B Bird. I gotta hear from my guy B Bird. What's up, Danny?
Good morning, Sky. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna go on
Oh,
my
my bad. I did this wrong. We've got the Macho Man, Danny Savage, in the building. Take it away.
Oh yeah. We're gonna talk about a little offensive line action here. All right. Anyone that thinks Smith can play left tackle is delusional. Go look up. It's very simple. Tulsa versus Cincinnati. And my G. Sanders, all 225 pounds of him, pile drives Smith at left tackle, destroys him. Listen, the kid is a guard, and let's leave him there and forget about it. The Joneses say, position flex to make us feel better. Forget about it. Now, Conor McGovern
I ain't messing with you, Danny.
Conor McGovern gets hurt. Isaac Alacon is the next man up.
Ooh.
Think about that. Now, everyone laughed at me before the draft when I said we need a left tackle. When was the last time Tyman played a full year? It's been at least 5 years. So either Ball or Walesko is looking at playing about 6 to 8 games. Now, on top of that, I'm not sold on Steele because coming off the bench and playing 5 games is big difference versus being the number one man from training camp, preseason, 17 games, and then hopefully a playoff game.
Well, let me make you feel better.
Giant difference.
Let me make you feel better. Just go back. Like you telling us to go back and watch the film on Tyler. Yeah. Just go back, rewatch the tape on Terence, and watch his feet. Right, like watch his hands, his athleticism. I mean, we could talk about run blocking. I mean, I think he was really good in that. But just see the improvement in him from year 1 to year 2. Now I know you believe he's gonna get popped for some PEDs, which is a wild accusation. But watch him, man. He improved, bro. I think if you go back and watch him, I think you feel comfortable.
But know what also scared me, though? The same year he did decent. He did good out on the right side.
Sure.
The second he did good playing next to Zach. The same year we threw him to left tackle playing next to Connor.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we're back to Steele from preseason. Oh, this is Steele from his rookie season.
All right.
When we asked him to play left tackle.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you to do the same thing at left tackle. He definitely struggled early when he had to play a couple. I think it was the first 2 games at left tackle. But go back and watch like the other 2 games he played at left tackle. He started to improve over there too, man. Like I think it's at the point now. It's inevitable. It's kind of hard to say he wasn't an improvement. Like he didn't improve. He improved, man.
No, he improved 100%. But like I said, improving for a 5-game stretch.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And then being the man for 17 games.
Fair enough.
Big difference.
All right.
Mentally, physically, it's a big difference. Now, I just have one question I need you to find out for me. Damone Clark from LSU.
Sure.
Did he hurt his back preparing for the combine?
No.
At the combine? Okay, so now follow me. If he played, now you're talking to someone that's had about 17 epidurals. I've had my nerves burnt 3 times. I've had 5 stem cell procedures to my lower back. And I've had this since I was 19 years old. I got hit by a car. So now I know what it is with a bad back. First, we start off with, it's called a discectomy. When the disc is bulging out, they go in and they shave that piece off. Now that never works. And then within 5 years, you're back with a fusion. And then you're done. All I'm trying to say is,
so wait. So if he gives us 5 years as a 5th round pick, I'm taking it.
No, I'm taking it. But what the point I'm getting to is, he could have had that disc from high school. He could have had that disc from 8th grade. He could have had that disc problem from his freshman year. He played good at it. Just because you have an ailment doesn't mean you're going to suffer problems. All I'm trying to say is, if he played at such a high level with it, why open up your spine? That's just me being an old man.
So you want me
talking.
to? Do you want me to tell you what happened? There's a fantastic interview, 30-minute interview. I don't even know the page, and I apologize, but I was going to feature that part of the interview once I got to Damone Clark for our rating the draft. I'll bring it back up. But he sat down yesterday or 2 days ago, and he didn't have any issues with his back during the season, which is normal stinger stuff. Didn't have any issues going in preparing for the combine. It wasn't until they did a regular medical check on him, and they said, hey, my man, you have this, and I don't want to be technical. I'm going to have a doctor on next week, but you have this, thing going on in your back. We can clear that. We should clear that up now so that there aren't any problems in the future. So his back issue, actually, that's good news because his back issue wasn't something that was bothering him. He didn't have any issues with his back. They found it and got ahead of it. So now he had the surgery, and it's not a surgery. It's a preventive surgery, essentially, so that he doesn't have an issue moving forward. So we'll see how he heals. We'll see how he comes back. But if I can ease your mind a little bit, it's not something that was bugging him, and they said we got to fix it. It was something they caught, and they said let's get rid of it now so that you can be good to go for years to come.
Listen, I pray to God this young man is better, and he does great. But all I'm trying to say is he's not sitting behind the desk. He's playing at a position that's a car wreck every play.
Sure.
Schlereth, who played
Brother,
NFL.
Danny, go watch the interview, bro. Go watch the interview. He says that. He's saying what you're saying. He said, I'm thankful. He said everything happens for a reason. I am thankful that they caught this earlier because I play a position where if I hit somebody the wrong way, this could have ended my career or my life. So I'm glad they caught it. So just please go back and watch that, and I think, Danny, you'll come back and feel a little bit better.
No, I will. All I'm trying to say is Mark Schlereth had 28 operations during his NFL career.
And he played like 15 years.
Yeah. Out of the 28, one of them was on his back. Yeah. And he goes, I'd rather do all other 27 than do my back over again because I never was the same. Listen, I hope he's a beast for us.
Sure.
And now what? I hear Jerry's getting into car accidents. What's going on with him? That's, it was a newspaper this morning.
Oh, yeah, Jerry. I ain't even bring that up, but you're right.
Out the pasture.
Come on now. Come on.
Great call again. Great call. Great call.
I ain't messing with you.
Listen, notice I've had a bad back for 30 years. So I know all, that's all just my morning rant. But I had to do my rant on my O-line. Great call. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
Appreciate you, man. Listen.
All right.
Danny said, forget about it. I got a feeling you got people swimming with the fishes, man. That's probably what that bad back came from, Danny. You had to lift up some bodies, put some cement blocks on them. What you want to do? Forget about it. Throw them with the fishes, Danny. I ain't messing with you, dog. Nah, I appreciate you, brother. Let's just see what happens, right? 5th round pick. But I'm gonna clip up that part and I'm gonna put it on the show so y'all can hear. I think it'll make a lot of people feel better. I'm glad they caught it for him personally. Forget football, but from a football standpoint, it may be a blessing for the Cowboys, man. Maybe a blessing. All right, let's get back to the second question, and I want to get my guy B Bird on the horn, man. I know he got something good for me. Pretty Petty on Twitter on the 20. He says, who will be a Cowboy surprise cut this year before the final roster? I love these kind of questions because it's all speculative, right? It's extremely early. So this is one of those extremely early mock drafts, like all that type of stuff. I'm going to throw some names out there. In fact, hold on. Let's do Dom's official. Would Damone Clark be a starter? Not this year. Let's get that out the way. Next year, he'll be a starter. But let's get back to Pretty Petty. Possibly be a starter. I'm going to say if Deron Bland sticks, it's a big if. C.J. Goodwin could be a surprise cut. Now, a lot of y'all might be like, man, I don't give a damn. He's a specials teamer. Well, he's a very dependent on specials teamer. So CJ Goodwin would be a surprise to me because they've done everything in their, power to keep him around because he's so damn good. So I think this hinges on Deron Bland, possibly Devin Harper as well. So I got CJ Goodwin. I don't know if this one's a surprise. It shouldn't be, but Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill could be the guy as well. And then I think the biggest surprise would be Donovan Wilson. If the undrafted kid Marquise Bell, comes in and plays well, and they say we don't have room for 4 or 5 safeties, he could be one. But I would personally, like T-Mac said, I think it was a while ago, if they're not going to bring in or they're not going to put on the team a full-time free safety behind Hooker, I would let that be Donovan Wilson. Besides, Donovan Wilson could be a kamikaze on special teams as well, but he might get hurt on special teams. But yeah, so those are my guys. CJ Goodwin if Bland sticks, Tristan Hill just because I think he's down on the roster, and he's a second-round pick, so right, I'd be surprised. And Donovan Wilson because I just think Wilson is – I like Wilson. So it'd be a bit of a surprise. Yeah, Stage, I agree, which is why I didn't bring it up here. I've seen stuff on Twitter, and I'm like, nope, I am avoiding that. Let's just hope that Jerry is okay, though. All right, let's get to my guy, B. Bird, see what he got on the horn. What's up, B. Bird?
Hey, what's up, Scott? How you doing this morning, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, man, I was just listening to the Tyler Smith, practicing at left tackle position, a little bit, I guess, throughout the year or whatever. I definitely hate it. The thing is that I think what ends up happening is the Joneses are selling the fact that, he can possibly move out to left tackle at some point in time. And what that is to add value to the pick, right?
Yep.
So I think they're trying to sell it, and I think fans are actually buying that.
I don't like how they're trying to force it, though. I mean, they're technically right. We're just going off of what they're saying, so they're not forcing it yet. But it just sounds like they're forcing it, right? Like, oh, well, he has the left tackle potential. He's gonna get work at left tackle and left guard. And I'm like, well, why do we gotta force this issue right now, bruh? Slow down. He needs to develop as a player in general, and I just don't know if throwing all that at his feet early is a good idea.
So he's played college left tackle, and then now he has to learn NFL guard, but then you also want to get him back to knowing a little bit of NFL tackle. No, let's get this guy in there and hope that he becomes what Ron Leary was at his prime here. Yeah. And if he is that, then we don't move him at all. You go draft another left tackle. Don't move these guys around, man. Look, you got what you're going to end up with is the people that are jack of all trades and master of none. So just put him at one position, let him learn that, let him be reach Pro Bowl or All-Pro status if he can in that position, and be good with it. You didn't move Martin out to right, right tackle or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so I just think that we take position flex, and that sounds real good, but that's really nobody ever really gets to know their role and get real comfortable. Again, Martin has been in his position for a long time, and it worked out for him. Tyron has been at left tackle for a long time. That's all he played. It worked out for him. If this kid gets to left guard and he, gets to the Leary status, then, hey, we call that a win. And I don't care about position flex. We'll go find somebody else to play left tackle, man. So I just want to throw that out, man. We got to be careful with all this position flex and practicing the guy out there when he hasn't even learned one position yet. And I'm going to take your answer offline, brother.
Thank you, B-Bird. Appreciate you, man. I mean, I don't disagree at all, I look at it this way. Position flex sounds good for backups to me. Like, if you got position flex as a backup, that's excellent because going into game day, I can carry less players at a certain position. But for my starter, and I didn't even want to bring up Zach because I don't want people like, well, he's not Zach Martin. He's not Zach Martin, right? But Zach Martin wasn't Zach Martin until he became Zach Martin. No, but seriously. He didn't play guard, and they moved him in and kept him there. They didn't play around. They didn't dilly-dally around with that. And we've seen that he has the ability to kick back out, but that's neither here nor there. I just, for a guy who is not technically sound just yet, I don't agree. That's all. I don't agree. That doesn't mean it ain't going to work. Like I said, Tyler can go out there and be an absolute beast, but I just think we should take it slow with him. All right, let's get back into this mailbag. I want to go through this mailbag, and then we can finish off with the callers. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, we got a couple of them. We got Tater and 804. And then we can wrap it up. Man, fantastic show. Y'all been great. Let's get to the guard situation here. Who will be the Cowboys' backup left guard? Well, if you look at who I think, El Shungo, thank you for the question on Twitter. It's Conor McGovern. In fact, I think Conor McGovern is your swing. This could be a reason why, and we talked about this for those that tune into the show daily. Appreciate you. We talked about this a bunch early in the offseason. I don't think they're going to go out and sign a veteran guard because they believe they have their veteran guard, Conor McGovern. And I'm okay with that one. Like, Conor McGovern is my backup guard. Cool. Conor McGovern is my full-time guard. I think that's about done. They tried to make him a starter. He couldn't grab it. So I think it's Conor McGovern. And then the other question was, I believe, from Jose Perez. How confident are we that we can develop a player like Waletzko? Now, Cowboys Nation, that is an interesting question, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier. How confident are you in Philbin doing that during the season, right? I don't know. I can't say. It's so weird because you got Steele who progressed. Let's not get it twisted. Tyler didn't regress. I just don't think Tyler progressed as fast as people want him to, especially when he's got big shoes to fill. But guess what? Both of those players, if I'm not mistaken, I think worked with Duke. So how much is it the specialist? How much is it the actual coach? And Vach made a great point yesterday. Philbin's a bit older. So how is he putting hands on these players? Is he showing you? Is he Dan Quinning you when he's teaching? If you go back to Callahan was that type of guy. Callahan is heralded as maybe the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Right? Because he has something that works. It's proven to work. Time in and time out. I mean, I don't recall the last time the dudes had a bad offensive line. So, how confident? If I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say 4.5, 5. I'm going to say 4.5, 5. But if you say, hey, include what he can do off the field, yeah, I'll bump that up to a 7. Because I think Waletzko has tools. He's athletic. It's weird. He has great feet in the run game, but I don't like his kick step. And I want to talk to Duke about it. Maybe Vach, I'll ask him this question later if he noticed something. Maybe Professor or whoever's watched Waletzko, let me know if y'all see this. He has a very short kick step. I don't like it. I guess it works at North Dakota, but I feel like if he can kind of get back on that foot, shuffle quicker, man, I think that would take his potential even more sky high. But I just think he's a little, what's the word? A little short on his kick step. And I guess it works at North Dakota, but boy, he fires out on the ground, in the ground game. He gets after it. He's athletic. He scored the highest, relative athletic score due to his size, 6'8", 315 plus pounds. It's just a massive mountain. But I don't like the kick step. But how confident am I? I'm out in the middle. That's how I feel about it. Jorge, what you do about Isaac Alarcón, the Mexican player? I just got to see more. And what the hell is he? Is he a tackle? Is he a guard? He played both. We got to see more. And honestly, this is the last year to do it. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong here. All right, Vach, he got something for you. He wants the long arms to get you first. But so am I seeing that right? He probably kicks short because he has length. All right, see, that's why I like to talk to my offensive line people. I'm not offensive line guy, but I just noticed something that didn't kind of sit right with me, and I don't know why he was doing that. But Vach says, but you're right, that shit won't work later. I figure so in the NFL. So, but I feel like if he can get that fixed, man, you got some potential there, man. What was the question? My bad. Oh, Isaac Alarcon. How do I feel about him? Got to see it. Just got to see it. And this is his last year. He was on the international program situation where he doesn't count towards your roster. So, you can cut him, but really not cutting him. You're just putting him on that designation. He can't do that now. So he's got to, fight to get into this depth. He's got to fight to get into it. All right, let's get back to the horns real quick. We had Tater on hold. What's up, Tater?
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Tater, a.k.a. D-Town Matt, a.k.a. the best there ever was. How you doing this morning, Sky?
What's good brother? You hit me with the Bret Hart, the best there is, the best there ever was.
Listen, long time no talk. Got to come in flame me, you know what I'm saying?
What's goody?
So, I really think that the entire year is going to come down to how well the Cowboys coaching staff can coach and develop players.
That's fair.
I don't think there's anything talent-wise. I don't think there's anything. The draft score is what it is. It's mostly just media making stuff up. But I don't think that the draft was bad. I don't think your current roster is bad. I think that if your coaches develop players like elite coaches do, you absolutely are still the best team in your division. Just period. That's what I think. Personally, I don't see the draft. People, no, the draft, we didn't give a pick. Well, shut up. It's fine. If the draft was fine, you tell me that an elite coach drafts our draft class and that you're worried about their development. You're not, because you know that they're going to be developed. And you know that all of your draft picks have the physical traits that you want, and some have more, like that freakishly tall giant guy. Oh, my God, that guy's ginormous.
Well, let's go.
So, yeah, dude, that's all you need. You just need development. If you want to be an elite team, you develop your guys. You can't just always hope and pray for your Mike Parsons.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And if we want to really get into it, aside from those top picks, I think there's a study where when the Cowboys are not picking, inside the top 20, it gets a bit rough in regards to the development long term from their picks. Now, they had some hits, right? Byron Jones, things like that. And when I say top 20, I mean that because in the second round, third round, now you're picking in that top 20, 15, 10, right? So you're going to get better players. But, they, good coaches, I say this all the time, you need them. You need to count on them for a couple games in the year, and you need to count on them to make your team better in the long run by development. So I don't disagree with that.
Absolutely. I think biggest hot seats this coming year for coaching, your offensive line coach, if he can't figure out how to make an offensive line work this year with what he has, he's got to go. Second, you got to get rid of your head coach. Those two guys can't figure it out this year. That's what it is.
Somebody needs to get a hold of whoever the hell's idea it was to rotate offensive linemen in game. Sit their ass down and say, never again. You do that again, you're fired. Like on one hand, McCarthy can't say, well, that's fantasy football. We're not moving Zach Martin out to right tackle. That's fantasy. And on the other hand, you got the left guard and the right tackle swapping series. Like, you got your left tackle when Tyron was out. People forget Tyden Secchi and Terence Steele were alternating in certain games. What are we doing?
Which is ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You put your guys out there that are going to win the game. That's it. But all right, man, I'll let you go. I appreciate the call. Hopefully I'll be on the phones more.
Thanks, Tater. Appreciate you, man. Be safe out there. Joey said, not the head coach. He's won Super Bowls. Super Bowl one. Which, listen, hey, he won the Super Bowl. I'm not knocking that. Trust and believe me. Asian Persuasion. I really want to see how Ball looks in preseason. He was originally supposed to be a top 100 pick. Maybe that's the wild card, y'all. Josh Ball could be the wild card that helps make your depth that much better. The problem is, sitting here in May, I don't know. He practiced for like 2 weeks last year. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to our last one here, 804. What's good, 804?
What's going on, Scott? This is Brandon from Franklin Football, bro. How you doing?
Man, listen, let me save you in here, Brandon from Franklin Football. I already know you about to come in and talk trash about fantasy. So look, let me just get it out the way, y'all. Brandon from Franklin Football beat me in fantasy, so I'm going to just go ahead and own up to
it. Hey, man. So I felt it in my spirit to go ahead and call in regarding the O-line conversation because this is the area where I feel like I shine.
Gotcha.
When we talk about the guys that were just drafted most recently, and you kind of have to add Josh Ball into that mix because the guys who were drafted in 2020 and 2021, this is really their first camp that they aren't inhibited by COVID restrictions.
True.
So this is their first area that they can really truly progress if they haven't really done so already. So when it comes to, I guess, any uncertainty at the line, I think that without injury to Tyron Smith, because you may miss him for like 3 or 4 games, your starting line is going to end up being Tyron, Tyler, Zach, and Steele, until he runs out of black man. But I think that Terence Steele could actually be the guy who could be replaced come camp, because
Wait a minute, B. You can't be coming on here with fire takes like that, with hot takes like that one. Explain to me, B.
I think that physically Matt Waletzko is more gifted than Terence Steele. You can't teach genetics. He's
can't
bigger,
grow 3 more inches. Yeah,
just as fast, and he has bigger hands, longer arms, and is just as fast with that added size. So if you can teach him to better manage that short step that you talked about, because I think that with his size he kind of gets off balance a little bit, then I think that he will be able to succeed. Terence Steele, another one of those guys who hasn't had a full uninhibited camp. So that's a battle that we really have to look to.
Wow.
Along with
you can't gloss over that. You cannot gloss over that. You believe the battle is Steele and Waletzko? Let me tell you something.
I'm saying that's possible.
We'll be in trouble.
Until
if we get the camp,
progress, then it's his job to lose.
Yeah.
He comes in with the job, but if you drop it, then somebody else can pick it up. He's not cemented in that position.
Man, chair fall. Man, wow. So why get rid of Lyle Collins if you didn't believe in Terence?
Because I think that Lyle Collins drew the ire of the front office and the coaching staff by possibly intentionally coming in overweight.
But he wasn't overweight anymore. So, but we're going down a rabbit hole that I can get you with like a lawyer. I can hit you with a bunch of stuff, but I ain't going to do that to you because it ain't your fault. They got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at it as if they believe that Terence Steele's not the answer at right tackle and they wanted to wait to get a right tackle to the 5th, who is kind of a bit of a project from a small school, we in more trouble than we believe going into this season. That's all.
Isn't Terence a project? Wasn't Terence a project?
Yeah, and he got
the project thing.
And did he not prove himself? You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't he prove himself? So let me just do this. The same way that you're saying, well, let's go if they do this, if they do that. Well, then it's only fair to say, well, if Terence continues to progress, I don't even think it's close right now. If that's the case, if we're doing it, ifs was a 5th, we all be drunk, right? But again, I'm just playing devil's advocate to your thought process because it sounds concerning to me that Waletzko would be the guy, and it would make me feel like, damn, Terence regressed very badly, and now we're relying on a small school project to be our tackle to protect Dak. And that scares me a bit. I looked at Waletzko as a guy for the future, take a year or two to kind of develop, not a guy right now. Because Terrence came in, and you saw what he did year one. Wasn't great.
Absolutely. Now, let me come in and kind of, smooth it over, because I don't want you to think that I'm throwing all of the bets and betting it all on black with Waletzko. Coming in, he's going to be your swing. I'm saying that if Terrence does not continue to prove himself and continue to progress, then they aren't going to, invest in him long term, because this is year 3 for him. After year 4, after this year, they're going to have to decide whether they want to pay him or not. So knowing how this front office likes to operate, they're going to make that decision sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he has, I believe, 1 more year restricted. I did a show earlier in the offseason, Brandon, where I was like, Cowboys like to get ahead of stuff, used to at least. Who's the next guy up? And I actually had Steele as one of my 3 guys. I think they would be wise to kind of extend him early so that they're not paying him a lot, because I personally believe Terrence Steele is going to be the right tackle of the future. But if he regresses, that's a different story.
Absolutely. I could see a situation where if, after 3 or 4 games in the season, well, not 3 or 4, after 5 or 6 games in the season, depending on where the bye week is, his agent gets a little squirrely and goes into Jerry's office and slaps a stack of papers on his desk and says, "This is what we like." And that can go 1 or 2 ways depending on how Terrence the player has been.
Yeah, now we getting down to the parts that really make me mad about this team. If he does continue to develop and he continues to look good and get better and better, and they say, well, we don't want to pay you, then what are we doing? We're just going to be in this rabbit hole, right? Or not this rabbit hole, this hamster wheel of not wanting to pay certain guys so that your team can remain better. And I don't like it. But anyway.
History repeats itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How you feel about Tyler Smith, though? We talked about Waletzko. How you feel about Tyler?
I think the Tyler Smith pick was not as quote unquote the sky is falling as a lot of people made it out to be. I like Tyler Smith, the player. What was my gripe was the players who were available when Tyler Smith was picked, and that should be a lot of the other people's gripe. Now, what Tyler Smith provides to the team is he reassures their commitment to run the ball, because I think that there was 1, maybe 2 offensive linemen who were better in run protection than Tyler Smith. Especially if you look, if you go back and look, starting in that Memphis game, and getting college film is hard. You gotta, name your first child after somebody to get some college film. But starting in the Memphis game, week 5, he turned it up to a whole nother level in his play. And I think that if you move that inside a little bit, you can cut down on those penalties.
I agree.
Because what happened with a lot of those penalties, he just threw a guy onto the ground, and when the ref turns his head and sees that, that's how a flag gets thrown. Or he just punched somebody after the play was over. But, you kind of got to get some discipline. That's going to be a video on my channel. But if you get him inside to where he can't just throw a guy on the ground as easily as somebody on his outside shoulder, then I think that you can, A, cut down on the penalties, and B, give your running backs, more ability to run it inside, which is the team may be.
Let me do something. Let me do something real quick, Brandon from Franklin Football. We got Brandon from Franklin Football on the horn. Now let's get it set off. Chris from Franklin Football to join in this conversation.
Hey, man, what's good, man? Hey, he jumped on here because he should have said this is Brandon from Franklin Football, and all these points he made on a video that he uploaded, and he's spot on with what he's saying. Yeah, he's trying to check it out. But what BHO always comes to so smoothly and so eloquently is this. He said it already. When Tyron goes down, which Tyron will do, because Tyron has not played a full season, like Danny Savage said so eloquently, in 5 years.
I think 6. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, 6. So what you're looking at is that if Tyron gives you 10 games, that's 7. I want him 10 games over a 19-game season. I know all y'all say, Chris, we played 20. I'm just trying to get the NFC Championship. I'm not even thinking Super Bowl yet. I just want to get this bug of the NFC Championship off our back.
Yeah.
So if I need him for 19 games, and I know he can give me 10 Tyron Smith Mega God games, Mega God games, then what I need is when Terence goes to left tackle, because he's the swing, because they're not going to sign a swing, he's your swing left tackle.
That's
because
go ahead, set it off. Yep.
That's a news flash. We ain't signing no swing tackle. Terrence is a swing tackle. What Danny said earlier was that he struggled. Here's the games he struggled. His first game against Denver as a left tackle, when my man from Ohio State, I want to say Cooper, ran around him, and it was his first snaps at left tackle. And then when Chris Jones got over there and whooped everybody's ass down the line, he was just like he was like the mega boss, and he just whooped everybody's ass. So he's the guy. So Terrence is going to be your left tackle of the future. It's going to be Terrence, Tyler Smith.
I brought that. Hey,
yes,
didn't
sir.
we talk about that a couple months ago? I said, are we not taking into account that maybe Terrence might be that guy? Now it was a long shot at that point.
He is.
Well, they're talking about chime in on this, B. But aren't they talking about Tyler Smith being the left tackle of the future?
They're talking about it, but the thing is do you need him there right now? And I kind of hate the position flex philosophy, especially when a guy is young, because where are you going to let this guy get his what's the word I'm looking for?
Experience?
His bearings.
His gold
get his
star.
bearings, his experience.
Where you gonna let this guy get his gold star and plant his feet and let the
There you
grow?
go. There you
know
go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because the guy has the ability to play all up and down the line, but there are certain nuances that had to be gained at tackle that you don't necessarily need at guard, and vice versa. So, especially when a guy is young and in his rookie year, I would rather them make a move now and say, okay, he's going to be our guard or he's going to be our tackle, rather than uproot a guy and prevent some growth.
All right. Excellent points, fellas. Excellent points.
He's because that's you see how Brandon hit that thing so smooth, man. I'm just excited with it. But what he basically is saying, where is he going to get his roots at? If he can get his roots at left guard, just the same thing you did with Zach Martin at right guard, because Zach Martin was now don't beat me up for this. Zach Martin was a notable Senior Bowl guy with pedigree from Notre Dame. He didn't get that extra bump in the draft until he whooped Aaron Donald's ass.
Yeah.
Once he started whooping Aaron Donald's ass, everybody was like, oh, get that guy. So Tyler moving inside, playing left guard, being that guy, he's the one. What you said earlier about and what you invited was cracking up the other day over on the volume. Make sure you check out the volume at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, is if you turn around and have a whole year with Duke Merriweather, who helped Terrence get to where he's at in his second year, that's exactly what you're going to get with Josh Ball. Josh Ball's going to be your guy who's going to be your right tackle in the future. Well, Lesko needs another year, maybe a year and change, and he's going to be your swing on both sides. Because what we're all forgetting is Steven is cheap as hell.
Yeah.
And Steven loves young, cheap talent.
Well, let's see if Matt Willetsko Ball is a young cheap talent. I think Terrence is the young cheap talent right now, but guess what? He got one more restricted season next year, and if they ain't feeling froggy to jump on a contract, he might not be here either. But I would think that'd be a mistake. But hey, fellas, excellent. One second.
I hit you early. I hit you. I know we gotta get out of here. I hit you yesterday. Once he goes to left tackle and he plays beautifully, he gonna walk in there to Steven's office like Goldie in the mat and tell him, hey, Pretty Tony, we can do this one of two ways. We can do this real gentleman-like, or we can get around some little gangster when you make your call. That's what's going to happen, baby. Terrence Steele's agent is going to be Goldie. What we do, baby. How we handle this thing, baby. Hey, man, great. Man,
hold on. Let them know where they can find you. Yeah, let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, man, check out me and Brandon, man. We're Frankly Football, man. We small, but we in depth, man. We do what we do, man. We show love to the Dallas Cowboy community and everybody, man.
Yes, they do.
That's BH, man. Brandon Hart, man. As always, I'm setting off Chris, man. Hey, Steele, thanks for taking us in, man.
Already, man. Appreciate you, B. Appreciate you. Set it off, Chris. Y'all be good.
Peace, man.
I had to
Got peace.
Peace. I had to get my guys in there, man. Had to. Let me fix this real quick. Boom. Good. I knew this offensive line conversation was going to be one to have and was going to be very interesting. And it ain't done. We will revisit this offensive line situation as we move forward because they brought up some things that we had talked about months earlier that I didn't even think about. We were talking about the potential of, hey, maybe if Tyron goes down, they move Steele over there if they don't feel comfortable about Josh, and then one of those guys move in the right tackle. And I don't think Terence is going to be looked at as a future anymore over there because they got Tyler. But what if Tyler's just so damn good at guard? They're like, man, we don't want to do that, and they can move him over there. So it's fascinating. At the same time, it's kind of concerning because I think somebody earlier in the chat, I think it was Tom. So many unknowns. At the very least, last year, the only unknown for real was Terence Steele. That was it. We knew what Nsekhe was. He was a reliable veteran swing. Not a guy you want to count on for 5, 6, 7 games, but a guy that could get you 1 or 2, get you by. We knew McGovern was your backup left guard. I think a lot of people were, or right guard, a lot of people were comfortable with him being the backup guard. Right? We knew Terence played a lot and had experience, and they liked him, right? But we looked at Terence as the fourth tackle, but he ended up being the third and then ended up being, you know what I mean? A starting right. So I think you had a little, I'm not saying a lot of people came into that season super confident in these guys, but I think you had a little bit more confidence because there wasn't so much uncertainty is what I'm getting at, Cowboys Nation. Good stuff. Absolute good stuff here while we're live at Worth the Poor. By the way, man, make sure y'all check out later on at the Realm Castle Hills. Cinco de Mayo block party starting at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pull up and get a free drink at the pop-up with Worth the Poor. Let them know. You got to go there and tell them, hey, Sky sent me. A to Z Sports sent me. I'm here for that free drink. Get that free drink from Worth the Poor. Or you can come right down here in the colony of Texas, man, and use the code A to Z Sports. You get 5% off any order, $20 or more. If you're here live in contact with Worth the Poor, or if you download the app and you use A to Z Sports, you'll get a discount code, 5% off any orders. Any orders $20 or more, you get 5% off. But check out it today, man. If you're in the area, I'm not really quite sure. I'm still new to Texas. 4400 State Highway in Louisville, Texas. Check them out. I don't know where that's at, to be completely honest with y'all, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of y'all listening that live in that area. Come through. Pull up. Pull up. All right, let's get to the chat and let's wrap this thing up. Where we at? JT the pipe layer. He says, Will, this don't even look like Mike's team anymore. This looks like it's being built for Dan Quinn. A lot of people talking about Sean Payton, man. I'm might be leaning towards the other guy. Big SARS. The known is what Mike McCarthy, Stephen Jones, Will McClay said about Tyler's future with the team. Believe them so you're not disappointed. So what I mean by the known, I don't mean that, right? Like, yeah, they've told us that Tyler Smith is going to be the future left tackle, Big Sarge. What I mean is we don't know how these backups are as players. Only one you can say that about is Conor McGovern. That's it. That is it. Whereas last year you knew McGovern, you even knew with Terence, to be completely honest. You knew Terence. Now, we didn't know he was going to be better, but you had literally a full year of film on him. You knew Nsekhe was a reliable swing. You just knew about these dudes, so you can have a confident opinion. When it comes to all these backups, man, all we're doing is either you're overly optimistic, you're wait and see, I don't see too many people being down on the guys because we don't know yet. But that's the unknown I'm talking about, Big Sarge, is the play. If you give Conor a shot at center, he will run away with the job. That they gave it to him. CJ, like Conor was the back. He was getting reps. He was the backup. It wasn't enough to start, you know. Now, unless you mean like throw him in there in real time and let's see. Let's see. Again, I'm looking to if I'm gonna put on my Stephen Jones hat. I ain't done this in a while. I don't even got the drop no more. If I put on my Stephen Jones hat, I'm throwing Alec Lindstrom. Hey, let's see what you got. I'm looking for the future. Conor, to me, I don't really see him being here beyond this year. Looking to the future a little bit. Much tougher schedule. Never know. Fight it out for sure. McGovern probably a better right guard than left. They even said that. You know, they even said that. You know, we believe he's better on the right side than the left side. Is that what they're called in Louisville, Texas? The Fighting Farmers? Or am I tripping? Shout out to Landlord in the building. Appreciate you for the super chat. And if I missed any, my bad.
Super chat.
He says, what up, Sky? Appreciate the support of my channel the other day. Yeah, man. Y'all check out Landlord from Alabama. I was on, I think it was Law's channel, and I was like, Landlord got a YouTube. I see you, brother. I see you. Evaluation begins during camp, indeed, and I can't wait to hear Voch's take on the old lineman. It absolutely begins during camp. Well, honestly, I'm actually excited, Big Sarge, to see him during mini camps and just even rookie camp, just to see who they put there first, right? Like, is it Walesko? Is it Ball? Because I believe Ball is going to join these rookies. A lot of the times, I don't know if this is the same across the league, but I know Dallas does this. Rookies who didn't play much the previous year, or year two players who didn't play much the previous year, they'll tell them, you're coming. You know, you're coming to rookie camp. Let's get out there. So I'm really interested to see. And rookie camp don't mean nothing in regards to starting, but I just want to know, where do they start Tyler at? You know, they're going to put him at left tackle. Where's Ball go? You know, where's Waletzko go? What's Forniak doing? You know, those things will be interesting to take into account. Ivan, he says, what's the Duke Manyweather news? So he will be dropping that. I'm not about to spill no beans. At 10 a.m. Central, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say on the Cowboys website. So y'all tune in for that. I don't think it's going to be what you think it's going to be, but y'all just go ahead and check that out. About 20 minutes. All right, man. Good stuff today. Great conversation. We will pick this back up. Trust and believe me, we'll pick this back up. Minicamp starts May 13th, so maybe we'll revisit that conversation. We'll get back into our rating of the draft series probably next week. All the draft stuff, I need a breather real quick. I need a breather. I was talking to Vach yesterday, and we were talking about how, yeah, you know, I don't watch 150 people. That's them. Salute. But people think, oh, draft's over. It gets easier. Nah, man. You're watching intently. Now instead of maybe watching 3 games of a player or 2.5 games, I'm watching 4 or 5 games. Now I'm reading on backgrounds, and I'm trying to do as much research as possible on these guys. Even reaching out, trying to get them on the show, and doing this and doing that. It's overtime now. It's time to really, really turn it up because they're Cowboys, and we want to make sure we put the best information we can out there, as possible. And let me at least myself. That's what I want to do. I don't want to come on here and give y'all half-ass. So I'm turning it up. Man. I will see y'all later today, man. Check me out with my guy Vach. All right, on the volume. I'll make sure y'all tune in, man. TC said, what am I sipping? This is coffee. It's weird, though, because we are in a liquor store, right? So you could be like, yo, is Sky out here? In fact, you want to go ahead and give him a little twirl? All you got to do is just just slowly but surely go ahead and give him a little twirl. You know what I'm saying? Get a little twirl, a little bit of something. Go ahead and loosen up, John. Loosen it up. Loosen up the side. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. Look at that. Look at that. Where you getting that kind of stuff at, man? Then back on me. Oh, you're going up. You can't see it. Still can't see it. It still can't see it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Boom. There you go. Well, look at the man. Got me my own producer back here, man. Appreciate you, Nick. Y'all come on through, man. I love y'all to pieces. Where my button at? Here we go. Here we go. Press this button. Later tonight, Mauricio Rodriguez back on A to Z Sports Prime Time. Y'all tune in, man. Y'all tune in. I don't know about tomorrow, y'all. I've been having this conversation with Nick. I told you I might need a little breather. We'll see, man. We'll see. If not, I'll let y'all know. Follow me on Twitter at Skywalker Still. I'll let y'all know. And just tune in as we do, man. Love y'all. Y'all be safe. We out. Peace.
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.